Well, good evening, everybody. This is Corey with the Widiots, and this is our regular Friday night show. Hold on, let me see. I don't like that angle. All right, any hooser. Um, so this is that post turkey hunger edition of the Widiots. As you can see, I am all by my lonesome yet again. Rest assured, next week Kevin will be back. Um, Anybody pops up in the chat here, just feel free to jump in and give me a shout. Totally understand if nobody's watching live. I get it. It's the Friday after Thanksgiving and probably want to be with your family. So, um, whoever pops in wants to pop in, they can do that. Otherwise, just watch later. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Shout out to anybody that does watch this. And, shout out to you and yours and your families on this Thanksgiving. Oh, hey, there he is. Got somebody here anyway. So I suppose, seeing as I got at least one viewer, uh, I don't know. One viewer is probably gonna just make this a short show. I'm gonna be completely honest with you, but we'll get into a little bit of stuff. So start out like we normally started out. I'm gonna go through my week 12 picks for the NFL, and I'll go through my week 13, which technically started yesterday. Four games already been played. Only one went the way I didn't expect it to. So, I mean, not that bad. So last week I went 10-3. The games I missed were Dallas beating Philadelphia. Thought for sure Philly would take that one. Uh, Kansas City beating the Colts. I whiffed on that. I had the Colts going over there. And then thought for sure Pittsburgh would beat Chicago. Didn't happen. So yeah, went 10-3 overall last week. That's honestly not that bad. And we've got between Sunday and Monday, we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Got 12 games coming up between Sunday and Monday. So just gonna kind of go through the rundown here. I'll give you my thoughts, and then we'll keep her moving. So got San Francisco playing Cleveland. I know Cleveland got a big win last week, but I think San Francisco is going to end that winning streak before it begins. I'm taking the 49ers. Jacksonville should beat Tennessee. Indy should beat Houston, although Davis Mills is just catching fire. But I think Indy's taking that one. Miami should beat New Orleans, which will somehow save Mike McDaniel's job. Somehow I just know it. Um, we got Atlanta playing the Jets. Atlanta should take that one. Tampa playing Arizona. Tampa should take that one. Rams playing Carolina. Rams should absolutely take that one. Seattle, Minnesota is kind of a toss up, but I'll take the Seahawks in that one. Buffalo and Pittsburgh. If Rodgers is back this week, I would take Pittsburgh, but I'll go Buffalo on that one. So Buffalo over Pittsburgh. Chargers play the Raiders. I'm taking the Chargers. The Sunday night game is Denver at Washington. I'm taking the Broncos. And then uh, New England on Monday night is playing the Giants. I'm taking the Giants. Or not the Giants, the Patriots. If I was taking the Giants, I'd be saying that on purpose to piss Kevin off. But he's not here. So, yeah, New England over the Jets. Um, Honestly, that's probably a good place to jump off from as far as that goes. We do have the last 2 days worth of games are actually pretty darn decent, all things considered. Um, you got Green Bay getting that big win over Detroit. You got What I think the Cowboys beat the Chiefs, which was kind of a shocker. And then the nightcap where Cincinnati won was a real shocker. And then today the Bears just blew the doors off the Eagles. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the Bears are for real. Who knows? They definitely got some of that good possession going on. That's for sure. But okay, well, we got that out of the way. So if any of our lovely ladies that listen were covering your ears or doing something else, you can absolutely come back in. We're going to get down into some other business. I do have a taste test here. I'm hoping it's going to be as good as it sounds, but we'll find out. I've got a couple of international Doritos. So, oh hey, Chris is here too. All right. Well, we got old Sarge here. Happy to see you here, bud. And then what we got here? Yeah, Burrow definitely looked good last night. That's for sure. And seriously, the Bears do look good. Maybe it's just been shit coaching this entire time. Who knew? Of course, if I were them, I wouldn't have fired Lovie Smith when he went 10-6. But that's just me. I still got it in my head that the Bears don't like success, and they get pissed off when they have success. I think they live off the energy that sucking gives them. It's about as good a theory as any. So I do for the taste test this week. I do have a couple of I think I may have one layer too many here. Hang on. Hang on. Still here. All right. There we go. Yeah, that's better. I like that. All right. So, got a couple of international Doritos to try out today for our taste test. So, here's the first one. This is the Smokin' Barbecue. Smokin' Barbecue. And then Spicy Barbecue. Now, I've been doing nothing but eating turkey and tuna and God knows what else the last 3 days. So I don't know how jacked up my taste buds are, but yeah, we're washing it down with a real American beer. So oh, those ones were good, Chris. I think I did do those on a previous show. Um, I want to say my rating came pretty close to yours when it comes to that. Fantastic flavoring on those Pringles for sure. I'm going to open up the spicy barbecue first, so we'll start with that. I don't know. Normally I like Doritos, so this should be okay, but I don't know. We'll see. Oh, that is definitely a fascinating combination of smells there. Um, all right, let's try it. There we go. It's a good looking Dorito. Down the hatch. Nothing really spicy to it. Oh, there's a little bit of kick right there. Yeah, nothing too spicy about it. It actually kind of tastes like a cool ranch Dorito without the ranch. I don't know. Smells different though. Well, this one come up a little better. Okay, so this is not going to be blow your pants off kind of good. They're good. The spicy barbecue international Doritos, I would probably give say a 7. Seems respectable. I don't hate them. I like them. All right, gonna wash that down with a little real American beer here. And we're gonna give the smoke and barbecue international Doritos a try. Don't open that way. Okay. Come on. There we go. Oh, these ones actually, excuse me, smell a little better. Yeah, yeah, regular Dorito. Oh, damn, that is good. Yeah, you can definitely taste the smoked meat. It's definitely beef. Oh, fucking good. Yeah, you know what? The smoking barbecue Doritos, I would give a 9 out of 10. Yeah, I feel good about that. 9 out of 10 on the smoking barbecue Doritos. Now I got to give the people what they want. So, I'm going to grab a spicy barbecue and a smoking barbecue. And we're going to do the old Scully special here, the combo. Divulgia. Holy shit, that combo is magical. I'd give the combo a 9 out of 10. That's just more than outstanding. I love that. Holy shit. That's really fucking good. Yeah, if you want to try these international Doritos out for yourself, depending on where you're at, just go into any popcorn store and they'll have like this entire section of international snacks. Just get yourself the hookup from there because goddamn, this shit's good. Hmm. Okay, I'm gonna bring back the spooky segment again this week. Um, I think my line of thinking here for the spooky segment is once we get out of like all of what we suspect to be all of the things in Wisconsin that would be considered creepy, weird, spooky, we're gonna move on to another Midwest state. So I do have to talk it over with Kevin, but I think we might. Ideally, I would like to go through creepy shit in Minnesota, and then after that, Michigan. You know, depending on how long the show lasts. But ideally, I'd like to check out Minnesota, Michigan, Illinois, Iowa. Iowa would be a good state to look into as far as hauntings go, because I mean, you got the Field of Dreams, even though nobody has seen the ghost of Shoeless Joe Jackson, doesn't mean he's not there. Um, but then there's the Villisca Axe Murder House. There's just all kinds of good shit in Iowa. So I don't know. Iowa might be the next one. Maybe. Okay, so I just pulled up this article from discoverwisconsin.com. Discover Wisconsin's like one of those big time Wisconsin shows that I think everybody's probably seen once or twice at 6:30 on a Sunday night right before America's Funniest Videos. Um, so we're going to go through their list of 6 creepy cryptids that call Wisconsin home. We're going to get into the ones that maybe we haven't covered yet. So we're going to leave the Beast of Bray Road out, but that's number 1 on their list. Just kind of looking at what else comprises the list here. Okay. Well, all right, yeah, there's a few here that we can talk about here. So we'll start with the Lake Winnebago water monster at, of course, Lake Winnebago. Um, Ever take a good look at a sturgeon before? They are some massive prehistoric fish that can be very intimidating up close and in person. The combination of size and roots make for some creative folklore, such as the inspiration for the Lake Winnebago water monster. Some say it's a sea serpent, others say it's a colossal sturgeon. If there's one thing we do know, it's that there is a lot of mystery shrouded in this beast, and many fishermen continue to track the creature in hopes of catching it one day, proving its existence. I would not be the least bit surprised if there was some sort of sea serpent floating around in Lake Winnebago, because Lake Winnebago is huge. I mean, I've gone over a few bridges that cross it, kind of like on that North Shore. That it's a massive fucking lake. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised. Um, Number 3 on their list are the Thunderbirds of northern Wisconsin. Um, Thunderbirds have been described as massive avian raptors by the Menominee tribe. The native story tells of a great mountain that floats in the western sky where thunderbirds gather. These giant birds are also one of the more applauded monsters on this list, according to their legends, which tell how the birds were the enemies of the great horned snakes. They would prevent the snakes from overrunning the earth and devouring mankind, according to Menominee folklore. Strong evidence shows these creatures no longer exist, but fossil records say massive birds were likely residing in North America during the early periods of human history. Um, Now, shout out to the native tribes of Wisconsin. Today, Friday, is Ho Chunk Day. So shout out to anybody in the Ho Chunk Nation that may be watching this. I see you, I hear you. You guys do some fun stuff. So definitely going to be keeping an eye on you guys, especially if you got any cool tales. Oh, here we go. Darren Buss is here. Good to see you, brother. Um, Now, if you don't know, Darren, he hosts a show as well. If you want to give your show a shout out in the comments here, Darren, we can point some people to that. Just do a little cross promotion here. So, feel free to jump in there. There's one other creature here that we have not covered that I definitely want to do a deep dive on, and that's Rocky of Rock Lake in Lake Mills. Moving just east of Madison lies the community of Lake Mills and Rock Lake. The curious thing about Rock Lake is that if you dive down in certain parts of the lake, you can find small pyramid like structures. These mounds were believed to have been created by the Aztlan natives when the lake's water levels were much lower. Amongst these ruins and the vegetation, one can supposedly discover Rocky, a large serpentine reptile. Rocky is said to dwell amongst the deeper sections of the lake and reappear near the surface occasionally. Many reports occurred during the late 1800s of fishermen who would have violent encounters with the beast. These locals would encounter Rocky by their boats and along the shore where they would be traumatized once sighting the incognito beast hissing at them. Hey, we're doing pretty good over here, Darren. Just chugging right along. I don't know if you caught it at the beginning of the show, but Kevin's been off the last 3 weeks. He's coming back next week, so we'll have a little more to talk about next week. I'm probably gonna roast him for just how much time he missed. Guaranteed. Uh, here we go, people. If you want to check out Darren's show, it's the Paranormal Question of the Day, and he's got some pretty cool guests on there. I was on his show before this show even got started. Great host, fun host, and I've ghost hunted with him a few times. So, um, ever want to check out some of Darren's work, get on with Paranormal Question of the Day. He does work with the Small Town Paranormal Group. Um, so yeah, just definitely shout out to all my guys and gals over at Small Town Paranormal too. Yeah. Well, I'm a little more ready for that snowstorm now. Last week I had a run in with one of those Washera County whitetails. As I told everybody on the show last week, I just got my new work truck today. So shout out to the crew in Fridley for getting the new work truck down here. I got to reload that once the storm's over. Um, but yeah, I'm ready to hunker down. It's just gonna be a full day of college football. Gonna be making a kind of a half-ass Thanksgiving dinner. I got a turkey breast that I'm gonna throw in the crock pot. Gonna be making some stuffing, some taters, green beans, sweet potato pie. I'm gonna be making tonight, deviled eggs, all kinds of good stuff. So I mean, it's gonna be a good time. Yeah, yeah. That whitetail wasn't messing around either. That was an 8 point buck. He probably would have dressed out between 160 and 180, and yeah, messed up my truck pretty good. I went to clean out my truck today actually to get it ready to get taken back up to the warehouse, and yeah, it turns out it even hit my passenger door. The passenger door couldn't open. So yeah, that was fun. But got it all cleaned out and everything's on the way back up tonight. So um, that's why I was kind of late getting going tonight. Yeah, there we go. If I could have found the freaking deer, I absolutely would have gotten. I'd have gotten venison burger. I'd have probably gotten some summer sausage made. Would have been using the back straps. Definitely would have needed the venison burger though, because that would have just made a difference. But yeah, it when I hit it, it somersaulted into the ditch, and it must have it must have been alive long enough to get into the weeds, and just off of where I hit it was this like really large patch of 7 foot tall weeds. I told the Washera County deputy right where it was. he looked he looked down there at the end of down the road there at where I was pointing at. He goes, "Yeah, I ain't going in there." I was like, "All right, well, I guess." So, I mean, what do you do? For sure. Damn for sure. Um, but yeah, there's all kinds of good stuff coming up in December. Definitely going to be jumping in and looking at some December stuff. Um, coming up here pretty soon. But I want to hit one last little bit of the Thanksgiving topic, and then uh, I don't know. Then we'll probably do a quick preview of possible ideas for Mount Rushmore discussions when Kevin comes back. I'll just throw a few ideas out there and see how everybody's feeling about that. And then we'll get into some Ask Corey Almost Anything for anybody that's here. So I do have a Mount Rushmore this week. It is the Thanksgiving side dishes. So the Mount Rushmore of Thanksgiving side dishes. Um, so starting at number 4, I have corn casserole. Because I really don't know how else to describe it. It's like in between being like creamed corn and cornbread. There's kind of like something in the middle there. I don't know how else to describe it, but the shit's good. Um, Number 3. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, Chris knows what I'm talking about. Corn casserole is the shit. It is so good. So freaking good. Yeah, scalloped corn. That's what I was looking for. That's the name of it. Thank you, Christine. I knew you'd come through. See, this is why I got you guys hanging around. Some of you are smarter than I will be. You ain't kidding. You're gonna know you ate corn too. Yeah, it's some damn good stuff. It'll make you shit, but it's good stuff. Um, my number 3 for Thanksgiving side dishes is green bean casserole. That's a classic. There's so many different ways to make it too. My favorite version of green bean casserole actually involves those fake dried out onions. So good. Just the proper amount of crunch. Throw a little bacon in there. Perfect. Can't beat it. You cannot beat a good green bean casserole. Or as they say in Minnesota, green bean hot dish. Or, Minnesota salads that aren't even salads, which involve some sort of weird form of jello. Um, but, so there's that. Number 2 on Thanksgiving side dishes for me, mashed potatoes. So what's a good turkey dinner without mashed potatoes? Especially when you got the turkey gravy, you can throw a little stuffing on there. Absolutely perfect. And it's got to be like real potatoes too, because I can tell the difference between dried potatoes, and I can tell the difference between that and a real potato. It's world of difference. Just make sure to throw a shit pile of butter in it. For sure. Um, then my number 1 for my Mount Rushmore of Thanksgiving side dishes. I actually just mentioned this earlier. Deviled eggs. And what I like to do with deviled eggs is I like to experiment with mustard. So the batch of deviled eggs that I'm going to be making tonight are going to have horseradish mustard in them, and probably with I did just pick up some new dill flakes tonight, so probably going to do the horseradish mustard and the dill flakes at the recommendation of a good friend of mine. So we're gonna give that a rip. Yeah, Liz knows what's up. She loves deviled eggs. And honestly, it's really the only reason to make them, so you can offend your family later. Yeah, I'll for sure let you know, Liz. I will probably, well, yeah, get them all made up tonight, let them set overnight. I'm probably going to have my first one right when I wake up in the morning, because nothing says good morning like a deviled egg. So, I mean, I kind of got all my subjects out of the way here. Oh, okay. Perfect. This is going to roll right into Ask Corey Almost Anything. So, Christine comes up with a great question. My thoughts on cranberries. I love fresh cranberries. Fresh cranberries are the best. If you make if you make that uh, cranberry, like the mashed cranberries, like the cranberry sauce with the fresh cranberries, I love it. I'm not going to go against it. But my preferred method of cranberries, especially with the cranberry sauce, just get it right out of the tin can. It comes out in the loaf, shaped like the can. Nothing better. You just slice it as you go. The shit's great. I love cranberries. Brother, I have had a lot of family Thanksgiving dinners where it came down to just that. I would show up at like 11 o'clock, start drinking brandy and eating deviled eggs, and then by the time dinner was ready at 1, I was like, shit, I'm full. Guess I'll wait. So then I wouldn't eat till like 2 o'clock. Oh well. Stuff was still good. No, I have not, Liz. Um, I think I'm gonna do my first simmer pot this week. Actually, I know I gotta get. I know I still have my cinnamon sticks. Do have to pick up an orange or two and some apple cider. But yeah, a simmer pot will be happening this week, most likely. This is gonna be cold as shit. But I do love me a good simmer pot. Darren, I did not make it down to OBI last weekend. Things kind of went sideways for me in numerous ways. Um, so I didn't make it down there last week, but they did have a couple of different really cool guests there last weekend. Um, it was AJ True Crime, shout out to him, and then Tony from American Ghost Walks were there last Saturday. They know quite a bit about like true crime and um, the gangsters. So there was a lot of gangster centric stuff going on there last weekend. And as far as I know, I think Shelly's going to try to be open every weekend because now there's a Christmas pop up going on like over the next few weeks. Not this weekend, but the weekends following going into Christmas. So, I mean, new drinks and think there's going to be a Scary Tales by the Fire event and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be a good time, I think. Yeah, I know, Liz. I should have probably done one this week because it's cold, but I'll get around to it. Yeah, the simmer pot would have been perfect for tomorrow's snowstorm, but I was at the store today, didn't even think of it. So I don't know. I got to go back on Sunday after everything clears up. So we'll probably we'll probably get all the necessary ingredients. No, Darren, nobody fell down the stairs, at least not lately. I mean, I've had to go downstairs ahead of a couple people because, like, they thought they had a shaky knee. So I was like, yeah, I'll get out ahead of you. Wouldn't be the first time I had to catch somebody coming down the stairs, so be all right. Ooh, all right. I do love me some craisins. Craisins are amazing. And if you're coming at me with a good salad with craisins in them, I am absolutely not saying no. Just give me a good, give me a good main entree. Good to go. Yeah, honestly, you pair up a salad like that with the with like a brisket or something, hard to beat. Can't beat that with a stick. Oh, who else has got some questions for me? My normal question askers aren't here today. Um, ooh. Okay, I don't think I did rosemary with my last one. I had to have done probably about 4 simmer pots last winter. I mean, the simmer pots were the large reason why I drank most of that winter jack last year. Still got a decent amount of it left though, but I got some other stuff I could try with it, so that's going to be a good thing. Yeah, cranberries, rosemary, oranges, and cinnamon sticks. Yeah, that would make for a good simmer pot. Yeah, I'm going to keep that one in mind. I'm pretty sure I got some of those other ones you sent me from Pinterest too, Liz. So definitely be making those again. Now, as you may have noticed last week, I did start wearing ugly Christmas sweaters. So before I get to Christine's question, let me show you my ugly Christmas sweater for this week. I do have about 6 of these bastards. So it says sexy and I snow it, and of course we got the Yeti with the abs. So definitely getting in the spirit of Christmas already. I do have a cryptid Christmas sweater collection. And I just got a new one this week that's kind of badass. So once I get that all washed up, that'll be on the show next week. And I think you guys will dig that. I did not do any Black Friday sales today. I tend to stay away from things like that. All I really did today was grocery shopping. Uh, Went and ate fish tonight. Cleaned out my work truck. So, I mean, I had a pretty busy day, all things considered. Which was even more hilarious when Liz realized at like 3 o'clock, wait, you didn't go to work today. No, I sure the hell didn't. I sure the hell didn't. I had a 4-day weekend all lined up and planned. And in all honesty, I haven't really been much interested in Black Friday shopping since they changed the whole format during COVID. Just totally not my deal anymore. Like I used to live on the chaos, so I would, there was a time a few years ago I went like pre-COVID, went Black Friday shopping with my cousins and my aunt. My cousin Matt and I just stayed in his truck the entire time, listened to music, bumped some beats, waited for the girls to come back with their stuff. We had a good time. Thanks, Liz. I think you've seen most of my ugly Christmas sweater collection. I think. Maybe. I'm not sure. But yeah. Oh, really? Shush now, huh? Okay. I mean, the Yeti with the abs is a pretty good selling point on this shirt. I gotta say. And I think my intrepid co-host, I think he got lost in the woods sometime this week. I haven't heard much from him. Asked him today if he died, and he said I become a ghost. So he's still around somewhere. Oh, you know what? I do want to give a shout out to Boondocks Bar north of Necedah, kind of in that New Minor Armenia area. Took the old man there yesterday for Thanksgiving because they're going to have free Thanksgiving dinner. I wasn't sure what to expect, but I know that usually when a dive bar says they're going to have a free dinner for people, they go all out. And I was not wrong. They had a perfectly seasoned turkey where apparently the lady who made everything, what she does is she peels the skin back on the turkey, seasons the meat, then puts the skin back on and cooks it that way. The flavors were fantastic. So they had that. There was ham. There was pumpkin pie, pumpkin bars, uh, a spicy corn casserole, stuffing, mashed potatoes, like really anything you could have ever wanted in a Thanksgiving meal, it was there. Holy shit, was it good. So yeah, shout out to the Millers and shout out to Boondocks Bar because that was fantastic. Well, Liz, to be completely honest, I'm not decorating until tomorrow, which kind of is the plan here. I'll get the house decorated as best I can. I do have some decorations stashed in here. Um, I probably won't start to think about Christmas gifts or anybody that I may potentially be buying the said gifts for about another week or two. Um, I mean, most likely I'm just going to be buying my own Christmas presents for that matter. Um, but yeah, it's a slow, steady process to get ready for it. You know, get cracking out the sweaters kind of early is one thing. Been listening to a little Christmas music, just kind of starting to try to get the vibe of what it's going to be like this year. And I know there's going to be a Friendsmas gathering amongst the some of the crew that's commenting here tonight. But yeah, I would say for the most part, I'm starting to get ready for it, but I'm not fully ready for it yet. For me, Christmas doesn't really start until I go to the Borman House in Boston for their Christmas open house. So once I get in there, which may be Sunday if the roads behave, I do know if my sweet potato pie turns out well, that I do have to run a piece down to Beth, our beleaguered marketing director. That poor woman is working tonight, so prayers to Beth for working tonight, and we'll see you on the next one. Um, yeah, who else has questions for me? See, I already kind of had a feeling you were already getting started a little early. That's something I always did appreciate about you, Liz. Is you got a knack for gift giving, and you do put in a lot of thought. So that's definitely going to be whoever is receiving presents from you this week, from you this year. Definitely going to be blown away. You do put a lot of thought into your stuff. Ooh, I think they're getting into the final four of that last dance tournament like this week. Um, I have this sinking suspicion that it's going to wind up being Gunther that winds up being Cena's final match. I just feel like that's the direction they're going to go, and if that's the case, he's probably going to lose to Gunther on his way out the door, which is fine. I always kind of figured, if you're a big time star and you're retiring, you should, just die on your sword or whatever. He does have his second to last match is tomorrow, actually. Survivor Series is going one on one with Dirty Dom Mysterio for the Intercontinental title. I think Cena's losing to Dom. So, but if he doesn't lose to Dom, I could see him putting that title on the line in his final match. And then, yeah, it's most for sure going to be Gunther. I mean, I would be more than happy if LA Knight was the one that got that chance, but it's going to be Gunther. You know, I highly doubt it. I know he's still alive out there somewhere. He's just sleepy and wants to catch a deer. So I feel like there is nothing there to be said. I don't think there's a grudge coming. Yeah, homegirl, you do definitely try. You're good people. I gotta come back to this. Yeah, if he has become a ghost, is there going to be an expose on the suspicious circumstances of his death and the resulting grudge against the living that he has? Uh, yeah, like I said, I don't know. He is most certainly still alive. He is most certainly going to be back next week. Um, I'm just saying, kind of in air quotes, that he's become a ghost. However, I would like to announce that if he is indeed a ghost and he shows up on next week's show, It might be the first ever live interview with a ghost right here on YouTube and Facebook. I think we're on to something here. I think we're on to something. That might be the title of next week's episode. Interview with a Ghost. Oh goodness, Liz has hit me with the German. Or maybe that's Dutch. No, that's German. Have I ever been to, or have I ever went to Christkindl Market in Sparta? I've driven by it. I've been downtown when it's happening. Um, Most notably when our good friend Bear lived in downtown Sparta. Happened to be there right when that was getting underway. And I mean, it seems cool. I'd definitely like to go and give it a full look over and check everything out. But yeah, Chris Kindle Market. That's a mouthful. Try saying that one 3 times fast. I'm definitely not going to try saying it 3 times fast. But if anybody does want to, it's right there. Oh, what's wrong, Christine? You don't want to speak German really, really fast? 9, 10, 4. So I'll put it out here for anybody that might be interested in learning a little bit of football history. Yesterday, I did do a special bonus video of um, regarding the or maybe that was Wednesday. Well, some night earlier this week, I did do a special video that I put on the YouTube channel and shared the link to the Facebook page about the 1925 controversy between the Chicago Cardinals and the Milwaukee Badgers of the old NFL. And I also spoke a little bit on the biggest blowout in college football history. So it's right here on this channel. If you haven't liked, subscribed, or anything like that yet, get right on it. Watch that video. It comes in at about a half hour, but I did do a lot of reading. But feel free to check that out. Definitely going to try to do a little more bonus content for you guys, just to give you something else to watch other than the regular show from week to week. And it'll be on kind of a little bit of anything and everything. So I'll be doing some fun stuff on there. Maybe I'll talk Kevin into going live on a couple of things too, just to, talk about shit that he wants to talk about. Christkindl Market should be going on tomorrow. Well, Liz, I don't know if you've seen the weather forecast for your old hometown, but I don't think anybody's getting anywhere tomorrow. Yeah, so that's going to be an interesting storm. I don't know. I've been kind of keeping an eye on it ever since the rumors started rumbling that it was going to be a big snowmaker. Um, Definitely took some shots at a couple of weather hype pages. It's fine if okay. Now, weather-wise, winter storms are probably about the hardest thing to predict. Oh, hold on. Das ist wunderbar. I do have some German heritage in me, so I can make that sound very, very happy. Um, yeah, that's kind of what I was getting to there, Christine. Is I know like earlier this week or last weekend, actually, there were a couple of Midwest weather hype pages that were already saying a week out they knew exactly how much snow we were going to get, and we were right in the bullseye of a foot of snow. But if you really pay attention to how winter storms behave, I guess is the word, you don't really get a good feel for what you're actually going to get until you're about 48 to 60 hours out, like in reality. So the models didn't start coming together for the storm to like really hone in on a number until late yesterday. And what it showed was that from approximately, we'll say, a line from Wausau down to, I would say, about Baraboo is going to be that swath where it's like 5 to 8 inches. Um, and there's going to be a swath between Baraboo and I want to say just south of Madison where it could potentially be 8 to 12 inches. And then down closer to the Illinois border, they're going to be looking at about a foot and a half. And apparently, starting tonight, Iowa is supposed to be getting hammered. Um, the guy that just dropped off my new truck for me, he's actually going to be in Mason City or this coming Monday. But I told him if he's staying in Minnesota tonight when he goes back with the truck, he should probably stay north of I-90 because, uh-uh. But yeah, if anybody is excited about the 8+ inches coming to the area, it would definitely be my intrepid co-host. He will be running around in a minivan with his sweatpants on, having a snow party. I can almost guarantee it. Dana, I mean this with the greatest amount of respect. You ain't gonna catch me doing anything at 4:30 in the morning any day, unless I've been up for 24 hours. In which case, then yes, maybe I would. Um, no, I'm gonna be nestled in my bed at 4:30 in the morning. I do appreciate the invite, though. What, he talk you into sitting in his tree stand? Chat me up, Dana. What's going on? But yeah, I do have a particular bone to pick with the weather hype pages. Yeah, Dana, you're going to come to find out that I'm a sleepy boy. When I get into bed, ain't nothing rousting me out of bed until about 5, maybe 6. I sure ain't motivated till about 7. So gotta get a little coffee in me. Nah, I'm good. I already got my deer for the year. But yeah, so hey, that cat cuddles like a son of a bitch. So yeah, I'll hang out with my cat. I only have about 3 videos on my TikTok completely dedicated to Patch with that song I Love My Kitty Cat, Yes I Do overlaid on it. Book it. Well, shit, I should have been down there today. I mean, if there was ever a mall to get in a fight at, it's definitely Westtown Mall. Somehow I'm not surprised that it was a felon with 13 charges. This makes the idea of just becoming a hippie and joining a commune sound so much better. Which will be hilarious for those of you in that certain group chat. So we're all just gonna retire and join a hippie commune. Sure is. So I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant here. Um, just because I can. It's my show. I can do whatever I want, right? So this is for those quote unquote weather hype pages. Like it's one thing to have a weather page and give pretty accurate information based on science. That's fine. That's great. We love those guys like Ryan Hall, y'all. He's probably the goat of YouTube weather people right now. Shout out to Ryan Hall, y'all. Um, he's probably got working overtime on the snowstorm tonight. Um, Weatherman Sam out of Madison, fantastic weather page. He's usually pretty even keeled and won't really get into the specifics on a winter storm until we're about 48 hours out. So he's good people. And of course, shout out to the GOAT, Frankie McDonald. You know the snowstorm is for real when you get a video from Frankie McDonald. I just posted his forecast for the Wisconsin snowstorm today before the show. I love that, man. I got my green tea and red tea ready. And if you don't know who Frankie McDonald is, get on the train, you guys, because that boy is lit. But I have a bone to pick with some of the quote unquote storm chaser pages that try to call out the results of a storm like a week to a month out ahead. Now, granted, you can go on AccuWeather and see the forecast for up to, I think it's like 3 weeks, maybe a month, which is fine to use as a baseline. Is I'll kind of use that as a baseline for, if my dad wants to go on a vacation somewhere, then I got to tell him what the weather's going to be like. But we have these storm chaser pages that are out here all over the place. They're cluttering Facebook, and they do the exact same thing every time. What they do to draw attention to their page is put out what seems to be an urgent forecast update for a storm that's not even going to be on American shores for, I don't know, 3 weeks, a month out. I seriously saw a guy claiming that he'd been tracking this weekend storm for a month. So I don't know if he was keeping an eye on it as it crossed Russia. I don't fucking know. Um, but he was saying even a week ago that he knew for sure how much we were going to get. He had southern Wisconsin in a bullseye for a foot plus. When anybody that knows anything about the weather in southern Wisconsin knows is just not true. We don't get feet of snow in southern Wisconsin. I mean, our winters are becoming more like Kansas winters now. Be lucky if we get a foot. Get more wind than anything else. Thanks, global warming. But yeah, so these people put out these forecasts that are meant to scare people. They're going to scare me, Ma, and be like, oh my God, next Saturday there's going to be a foot and a half of snow. No, calm down, Mima. Calm down. Wait until you're a couple days out, then you'll see how much is really going to fall. 'Cause I always wait for the local guys to like suss stuff out. Most professional show of all time, I'm just going to bend over and cause dead air. Yeah, I've got nothing against AccuWeather, Liz. Like, AccuWeather's great. You can use it for a baseline. You can see pretty accurately, like 3 days out, what it's going to do. But, anything beyond that, you're just basically looking at a baseline of what's potentially coming. So I remember one time, not with AccuWeather, but I think it was like the iPhone app. Like in the middle of February, it was calling for like 80 degrees, like 2 weeks out. So I kept looking and looking, and finally it got back to normal. But for whatever reason, I thought we were going to have an 80-degree streak in February. I think that was the Apple Weather app. But yeah, if you're going to track any winter storms this year, um, follow Ryan Hall, y'all. Follow Weatherman Sam if you're in the Madison area. Uh, follow the local meteorologists. Bill Grawl from WKBT in La Crosse. Samantha Brito from News 3 in Madison. Brian Dukes from WMTV 15 in Madison. The crew over at WISN in Milwaukee is usually pretty solid about covering most of the state. The different crews up at Wausau are pretty good at covering the Northwoods. So, there's good resources everywhere. Go to Frankie McDonald for fuck's sake. Frankie McDonald is the best. He's from Canada, Sydney, Nova Scotia, more specifically. And then, of course, AccuWeather's good too. But those are my recommendations. These smoking barbecue chips are so fucking good. Last call for Ask Corey Almost Anything. I think we're going to get things wrapped up here because I've got deviled eggs to get started and sweet potato pie to make. So I do my best work in the middle of the night. Hey, you have a good night too, Christine. Anybody else have any questions for me before we shut her down for the night? I know I do want to try to get some Christmas themed stuff going next week. So I'll do a little preview next week while I'm waiting for any extra questions. All right, appreciate you hanging out with us tonight, Liz. Definitely feel free to come back next week when Kevin returns, because I'm sure the man's been off for 3 weeks. He's gonna have a lot to say. So I'll be more than happy to just kind of hang out and be a willing participant. But yeah, it'll be the two of us back next week. I'm not sure what next week's Mount Rushmore is going to be. I'll probably put that up on the Facebook page either tomorrow or Sunday. I'll be seeing the back of my eyelids at 4:30 a.m. Thank you very much. Be inspecting my eyelids for intrusions. So I think we're going to do a lot of Christmas themed stuff for the month of December, for the Mount Rushmore discussions. Good night, Dana. Have a great night. Thank you for joining us. So yeah, I think Kevin returns next week. We'll have plenty of stories from him. Gonna do Mount Rushmore of some sort for Christmas, or getting the Christmas season started. Gonna get back into the NFL picks competition with Kev. Um, Probably gonna bring back Florida man or Midwest guy just to see how he keeps standing on that. And Lord knows what else might come up. We might wind up talking shit about the Motley Crue tour that's coming up next year. We might bemoan the fact that the Guns N' Roses tour is not going to be coming to Wisconsin. Uh, who knows? Join us. You'll see. But in between time and or in the meantime and in between time, peace, love, and hugs. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody, from the Widiots, from us to you. We love most of you. Good night.